Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. So all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessing. Give y'all a little bit of time to tune in. Sorry, I had to push the live back a little bit. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the music portion. We definitely rocked out Throwback Thursday. Definitely might start doing that more often. First things first, hopefully everybody had a blessed and productive Thursday. Hopefully everybody was able to get through the work day. Um, Out and about in this heat wave, make sure you keeping the proper water, liquids with you. Sorry, I sound out of breath myself. Extremely hot outside. We thought it was gonna rain, but it wasn't. Just got some lightning. But definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in earlier this morning for the live. Definitely was a good conversation. If you missed it, you can catch the replay. At some point, I will be dropping the link. Um, Title clear as day, but it's still an open panel conversation tonight. Kaz, what's going on, baby? What's going on, my guy? Title clear as day. This is the part two, but it still is an open panel discussion. Those who was in here earlier, y'all know why I'm still scratching my head, but I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that after I finish. Um, that is a question that some people should really be asking themselves. Like, what is your destination in life? Or where do you see yourself destined to be at? Um, for some, your destination should be somewhere grand, somewhere that makes you happy and at peace. And, and that's the most beneficial thing to remember. I'm good, Kaz, trying to stay cool. We're in another portion of another heat wave. BMF, what's going on, my guy? Your destination, again, shouldn't include you being locked up or dead for life. Um, Find something that really motivates you, that speaks to you, that makes you happy, and make sure you stick up to it. You want to be a choreographer, prime example. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with dance. Dance is an art form, right? Um, and you're doing something beneficial because you're teaching people who probably, you know, don't really have the basic dance steps, or people that just are interested. You can end up teaching them. Phil, what's going on, my guy? I hear you, BMF. Shoot. The main thing to remember, though, if that's where you want to go as far as doing that, make sure that you're happy with it. Um, James, what's going on, my guy? Yeah, Kaz, it is. Well, at least for New York, we don't. We this is probably like our second wave of heat waves. So I thought we was gonna get some rain because it was lightning. It's still kind of lightning outside, but we ain't getting no thunder or nothing. Um, the destination in life, yeah, you want to have a family. You definitely want to, set the trend and set the balance for the family, even well after you're gone. Your destination in life should never be quit. Should never have quit anywhere in the middle of that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. For those who like to dance or those who like to get into that, um, There's nothing wrong with getting into that. Doesn't make you indifferent. Doesn't shape or judge your character. It doesn't do none of that. If that's something that you're passionate about, that's something that you're happy with. It's also a stress reliever. That's the one thing to remember too. Your destination in life should be a stress reliever, no matter what it is you do. It should be something that you feel comfortable with, something that you know you could use and make it beneficial for the future. And hey, you want to leave something when you go on anyway. So why not leave some of the best lasting impressions, especially for the people that either look up to you or whatever. If your destination ain't choreography, all right. Some of y'all like to shoot short films, or some of y'all like to get into that portion of the game. You want to do movies, documentaries. Get into that. Get you a camera. If you fortunate enough to have a camera, at least take you a camera. Or take you a little few vids, do whatever. Just play around with it. Get to learn the aspects of it, and then you put it right into good use. Shoot, if you know you good with writing screenplays, movie movie scripts, all of that, get into that too. If your talent is writing, if your passion is writing, never stop and never sell yourself short. Because you don't know where you're going to get at exactly. You might take some heartaches and some headaches and some bumps along that road, but if you destined and determined to do it, you'll do it. Sikkim, what's going on, my guy? You definitely want to change the course in history, at least on your end. Take the necessary steps. And there's nothing wrong with writing. There's nothing wrong with being creative. As long as your creative process is not being stifled, you know, bring out everything, because sometimes you're going to write certain things out of inspiration. You might write it because you done went through some heartache and some pain. You might be able to write something because you might have went through some traumatic stress, some sort of death in the family. Never know. Whatever it is the motivation, you will write something, even when you feel like you don't want to write now. It's not so much as chasing the dream, but just doing something that you love that's gonna make sure you're good, your family good, the people around you good, and you don't necessarily have to worry about the people turning on. And if anything, you could be uplifting in any way or manner, you could do it. You've seen some people come, look at the success stories. Even the ones that are not as successful as the A-listers, but still, look at those who was passionate enough to do something and still continuously do it. You don't got to be on the grandest or the biggest stages, just on the stages that's important in your life. Marianne, what's going on, baby? So again, you got to make sure that even when you're doing that, you got enough confidence to believe that everything will be all right. Got to stay humble. Got to remain focused. And that's what you necessarily have to take into consideration. Take that into the fullest consideration. Again, you need all the passion, all the grit, you know, and it does serve a purpose. You got to be willing to look forward to a better and brighter future. And it does start with you taking that time out. And this is my thing though. Um, You're gonna have stress factors along the way, like most people. But depending on how much stress you let take over, um, won't be as bad. And again, sometimes even stress will turn around and have you inspired to do something to at least change that feeling or change that course. It's needed. Again, there's nothing wrong. Like for those who are passionate again about writing, even if you don't write, even if you don't write as far as movies and scripts and stuff, you got people that be looking for ghostwriters. Prime example, those who like writing music. You know, whether it's rap, R&B, whatever. If you're a good professional, if you're good at it, stick to it. Some people don't always want to be the headliner. Look, I'll write you something. But then again, if you got talent and more than one person is pushing you to that limit, you might as well see where it goes from there. You gotta look at it. Like, let's look for prime examples, right? DMX is a prime example. May he rest in peace. Before he became big, he was writing. It's a few people like that. Before they became big names, they was ghostwriting for people. You know, that's because it's not saying some of these people just didn't have it, but sometimes people do go through a little writer's block. And for those who rarely go through it, it's not bad. Because sometimes it's basically telling you, look, you done put out all your best for right now. You got to recharge your brain. You need inspiration. See, this is a problem with some people. Some people will go all the way out. Now, my thing is, don't put out too much before time, because then guess what? You'll have a situation like Plies, prime example. See how he did 3 albums within a 2 year span, and then what happened? I think if he would have stretched those albums out the way he was supposed to, or just did it calculated, he probably still would have had a little niche or a little foot in the game. You know, never put out too much right away, but you make sure that even when you think you put out enough, it's never enough, because you're always going to have inspiration somewhere around that corner. Green shirt, James, what's going on, son? Got red shirt and green shirt in here. Everybody hands up, son. Hands up. If I see another James walk in this chat, it's gonna be a fight, son. That's your goal is to reach for your highest potential, whether you believe it or not. You have a purpose. I think that's the main thing to remember. Even when you see, I'm not gonna lie, even some writers go through writer's block. Don't get it twisted. It's not just musicians that go through writer's block. Shoot, everybody will go through it. Even some novelists go through it. If you like writing novels and fictional and non-fictional books, everybody gonna go through it. But again, you're gonna have some inspiration somewhere around that corner. So just look for it. You know. And again, there's nothing wrong with sometimes sitting back and recharging your brain. If you put out work to where you ain't got to necessarily worry for a while, you sit back for a minute. But don't sit back too long either, because if you do, you'll lose your foot. You always got to make sure you following the process as well too. Word, what's going on, my guy? My bad. Well, I know it. Well, I don't work on that side of the. Uh-huh. I don't work on that side of the job no time soon. So, my bad, y'all. I'm over here multitasking as usual. Uh-huh. Okay, my bad. Well, at least I know how to wrap that up in case they get some late night deliveries. Uh, They always changing something up on somebody, but it's all good though. Um, grab that niche. All right, I'm a leave it off of the writing prime example. You got people who are passionate about acting, whether it's on the big stage, whether it's in the movies. Some people are passionate about even doing that, and I've always felt like this. Whatever your passion is, whatever what drives you, you know, push your foot forward. It could be a big break, 9 out of 10. Stupid, what's going on? You'll never know where your big breaks or your big opportunities in life lead if you don't actually apply yourself and do something. See, again, if you like acting, you get into that. You have people who have gone to school for acting. Some people just natural with it. They ain't never had to take an acting course or nothing. If you know how to just be natural and know how to just be yourself, shouldn't be that hard sometimes to land a role. But then there's some roles you might have to play that you might have to actually get in tune with that character. Prime example, like for those who was watching that show Sons of Anarchy, prime example. That dude had to really get into that biker's mentality and all of that. Even though he really do ride a bike though, but still he had to get into that whole biker's mentality. Like a lot of them. They had to get into it. They had to really like play and detail those characters' lives. And that's what you're supposed to do if you are a good actor. You're supposed to play whatever role you are getting and play that to the T. Even if it's a small role, sometimes guess what? That small role will lead you somewhere bigger or better. Never know. Love, baby, what's going on, baby? You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit. Cause yeah, part of this conversation, I'm just dusting off from another night. And there's another part of a conversation. I hope Letitia do come in at some point. Cause yeah, y'all, I'm still scratching my head from earlier for those who was in the live. And you know why I'm scratching my head, and I'm just saying that. But together, what's going on, baby? Who else popped up in here, man? I missed. What's going on, baby? Your passion, your drive, that's what keeps you motivated. That's what keeps you going. Even if your motivation in life is just to, keep a steady job, steady flow in your life, hey, you know, you're entitled to do so. And for those who want to be actors, prime example, if that is your destination, you're gonna have to put in a lot of time and effort into your craft. And again, you're gonna play some roles, or you might get offered some roles. Whether you decide to take some of those roles, that's up to you. But again, those roles could lead to somewhere. And for some, you don't want to get stagnant playing one character forever because some people never, they never get away from that one character. Like prime example, Urkel. All we can remember him for is just being Steve Urkel. Even though he's had some acting gigs and so on and so forth, we only know him for Urkel. And that's it. If it wasn't for Full House and then Family Matters, we wouldn't have known him like that. But then again, it'd be them small roles like that you get stuck like that forever. That's like your trademark. Like prime example again, the main actor from Sons of Anarchy. Even though he's had some movie roles and he had some damn good movie roles, we mostly know him for Jax Teller, the motorcycle, the motorcyclist. That's it. Don't get stuck too much in the character to where you're stuck. Like prime example, we can't say um Omari Hardwick, prime example. He's been acting all over even before Power. But I feel like Power was probably like his biggest thing next to his movies. But we all know he ain't just James St. Patrick. So, again, you gotta be versatile in whatever it is you doing. And then I'm not gonna lie, there's some roles that you know for a fact it might cross a moral boundary. And if you feel it's gonna cross your moral boundary, then you don't need to take that role specifically. You can find something else that you could probably do. So you gotta take that into real consideration. And another thing, when you are getting your big shine or your big break, you always gotta remember to stay humble. And always remember you give that higher power that praise because without him you wouldn't be here to be enjoying the successes, especially if you are staying humble. Just remember that. There's nothing that you can't do in life if you don't apply yourself to it. And you want to apply yourself actually. Because again, you are here for a purpose, whether you believe it or not. No matter what it is your purpose may end up being, you are here for a purpose. So try to do as much as possible, try to live as well as possible. And again, just do what's right and what feels right to you. Got some people who, again, they love to build with their hands. They like to, build, whether it's working on trucks, automobiles. You got people that love to build, period. Whether it's trying to get into construction or whatever. If that's your passion, especially if you think it's going to lead you to your next big destination, then I'd advise you to get into that as well. There's nothing wrong with learning a specific trade, especially if it's going to lead you somewhere beneficial. Some people think, oh, it's a curse to have a regular job or whatever. No, it's not a curse. A job, career, doesn't matter. Either which way you're working to pay your bills. And whether you got your own or not, doesn't matter. You're working to pay your bills. At least for those who are trying to work to pay their bills. The main thing to remember is you got to keep afloat. That's all. Keep yourself humble and grounded, and you'll see the opportunities come your way. You'll see the works, again, but you got to do the work. You'll never know where, the opportunity is going to lie at if you just sit on your butt all day. And you have some people who are adamant on just sitting on their butts all day, which I feel is not always the best move or option because, again, you don't know what blessings lie around the corner if you're just sitting indoors all day. If you're not taking that time to invest in yourself, you're really not investing in nothing in life. Didi, what's going on, baby? You do what's good. Again, if you even getting into some sort of trade, it could lead you to, you know, building, growing, even owning your own. If you want to own your own business, even if it's a small company, start off small. You can turn it big and global if you want to. And again, you are giving fairness and opportunity where it's supposed to happen. For those who are interested in music, whether it's writing music, producing music, engineering, whatever it is that you find your passion in, do so. Don't sell yourself short If you got a dream to succeed and make something happen, do so. Look how many producers then got their big starts or got their starts just by applying the pressure where it was needed. Oh yeah, even if you like DJing, prime example, there's nothing wrong with that neither, because the world needs good DJs, especially those who know good music. You know, music is one thing I believe that's always going to keep us, coming together. I don't care what ethnicity, what background. Music is what will make a lot of people come together. Appreciate you, baby love, baby. And there's nothing wrong. If you like mixing and doing all of that, that's still a craft. You do have to take your time in it. You do have to learn that. Because again, you just don't want to be out there and you shabby or you subpar. You want to leave a lasting impression. And that lasting impression, I'm not going to lie to you, it speaks in value. Prime example, and I want to say, sir, to those who are multi talented in any aspect of the game. Prime example, for those who are multi talented music wise, if you could sing, write music, and even compose music, that's still a good look. You might have some people who are working right now trying to put out their best songs or trying to put out their best material. And, if they with a label, if they doing something independent, and if they around right people that are telling them, you know, this might be it, this might not be it, or, you know, go back to the drawing board, you can help them out one way or another. And then there's nothing wrong again, because sometimes you're going to have some competition. You are. And there's nothing wrong with healthy competition. I'm not going to lie, I felt like even back in the day with the music, in my opinion, the two people that had the most, at least in my opinion, the most hits, but I felt should have did something together, was Michael Jackson and Prince. Two of them, even though they had different styles of music and different, whatever, they both was they both was a hit at their time and still was a hit, even until they passed. Again, when you are passionate about putting out something, you're gonna do it. Sweet, what's going on? Cowboy, what's going on, my guy? You have to do that. You have to do something that makes you stand out from everybody. That's the whole beauty of the competition. Papa Will, what's going on, my guy? Andrew, what's going on? I know James. I know. She popped up in the music live, I believe, in one of those names. I know who it is. Definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Um, and again, that's not a bad competition. You trying to, you trying to make yourself different from the next person that's doing the same thing you're doing. We both can't be putting out music. Prime example, if we both sound like each other. Not unless we twins or something. And even then, you gotta have a difference in you. That's what makes you stand out different from everybody. You need that. And I appreciate that. I know, man. Listen, you know me. I don't be caring about those. I don't be caring about those numbers. They don't really speak in volumes to me. As long as the message is getting out, and that's the most important thing. The message. But one thing to remember though, even if you want to be in these fields of play, you gotta have a different voice, angle, all of that, in order to grab not just the people, but to grab the world around you. You gotta just be yourself too. Oh, okay, I hear you, Papa Will. I hear you. But again, love what you're doing and stand out different. That's all you gotta do. You have those who feel like sports is their way for a better opportunity, or they feel like that's just something that they love to do. And if that's what you love to do, whether it's on a professional level or not, do so. If it's beneficial, if it's keeping you at peace, do it. You got those who wasn't fortunate enough to make the league or even make, you know, even to make the Euro League. So guess what? You know what they be doing? They coach. If they ain't coaching high school sports, they coaching college sports. Or they coaching little kids, giving them pointers and tips that's needed. You know, and that's the main thing. You're gonna have those who are gonna definitely bring back one way or another, encourage or culture or cultivate somebody that's definitely needed. So why not put your best foot forward when it comes to that? You know, gonna have those again who, even if their talents are well ahead of their time, they still find a way to captivate and motivate people. Those who ain't into basketball, they love boxing, football, whatever it is. Prime example, sport wise. Not saying you got to make that the prime goal, but if you feel you talented enough to be in that lane, then you do what you do. And if you are fortunate enough to get to that position, that's when you have to put in the extra time and the extra work, and you got to put in that dedication. You need that. Nexie, what's going on, baby? You can only help those who really want to be helped. And I'm speaking to those who might want to use their talents or those who might want to use their experience in life to try to help further the goals of those who are not sure where they want to go. You do what's necessary. You keep bringing that knowledge and that awareness and that spirit that's needed. You can uplift anybody. The ones that are going to help themselves, they're going to listen to reason. Why? Because they're coming to you anyway. That's just like for those who don't become professional boxers. They end up buying gyms and teaching and coaching. That's not nothing bad because again, you're teaching certain kids that might need it, not just self defense, but you just giving them something that's a balance. You're basically also for those who have anger issues, you're giving them a leeway and you're giving them a platform for them to, use that aggression wisely and not end up being killed. It's just real facts, though. I've always felt no matter what it is you're doing in life, if you are able enough to bring back one way or another, do so. And even for those who can't teach because of physical problems, you got those that could teach still because they could use their mind. They could give you observation, visuals, and even show you something out the woodworks. Sunshine, what's going on, my guy? Again, utilizing your talents and also giving back to those who need it and inspire those who might want to be something in that future. You know, you might have some people, prime example, they might want to go into law enforcement. They probably feel that's something that they could do. That's something that makes them feel good. That's something that they really want to do, protect people. And who's to say they can't do so? If they feel they're doing something that's greater than them, then who are you to tell them that they can't? I think that's something that should be recognized anyway. You know, when you got people that are bringing back their talent and they're actually making something work, that's something good. And again, if the goal is to reach and uplift, you can reach and uplift them just by showing them or giving them a blueprint state on how you got to where you had to get to. You know, again, you want these youth and these people that are coming into the future to at least lead the way and lead the way the right way. One thing I can say, no matter what field of play you decide to play in life, you're always going to have some sort of competition. If it's not competition, you're going to have some sort of hate. If it's not hate, you're going to have some sort of level of ignorance around you. But you let neither of those things stop you from being you and keep you from being the best you. If your destination in life is to be a motivational speaker, counselor, do so. You don't know how far again, your opportunities to take because it don't take much to really just sit down, speak to people, give them a good insight on what's going on, and then everybody bounce ideas off each other. Because with some people, they're going to learn a little different. But again, the main goal is you should be at least getting to those who are needing it. And even if you only reach one out of that day or maybe two out that day, that's still something better than nothing. any small victory is better than no victory at all. That part I do believe. Your destination in life is not just to be a motivational speaker, but also teach and educate. You're good with psychology, you're good with philosophy, anything along those boards that you know you can use your talents, use it. Marlene, what's going on, baby? Oh, that's a whole fact too. That's another thing you have to be mindful of. Because if you ain't paying attention to that, definitely it will be. It'll cause a lot of headaches and heartaches. And again, sometimes in life you're gonna make decisions. Some of these decisions you might not feel right making them, but you're gonna have to make them. It is necessary. You should let nothing deter you or distract you from whatever goals you have in life. Make something beneficial while you're here. And for some people, again, it shouldn't be about the fame. It shouldn't be about the fame. It shouldn't be about the glory. It should just be about doing something that's good. It's good works, good human nature. Prime example, I just got before I even started this live. I just actually came back from the store and walking the pup for the night. Lady ain't even have $2 to get what she wanted. I ain't have to give it, but I gave it anyway. Why? Because when I know I see hunger in somebody's face and I know that's what they're going for, I don't mind helping. So even when you're doing works like that, that goes a long way. A lot of times you might be hesitant. Sometimes you might not want to do something, but you'll know when it's right to do something. And in that moment right there, it was right to do it. Sometimes those good acts it speaks volumes, and it goes a long way. You can't be afraid to take chances in life, but also remember, don't take those costly chances. Those costly chances ain't going to guarantee you a way back on that prosperous road. So again, no matter what your destination in life is, you have to make sure you maintain your mental status, your spiritual well-being, and make sure you have something that completes and fills your soul. See, Phil, that was a blessing right there too. See, like, look, you didn't necessarily have to, but you did it anyway. That was a situation right there too. I was literally behind her, and she ain't even have enough to pay for whatever. So I done got what I needed. I went and got me a Gatorade for the night. I wasn't playing. Keep you a water or a Gatorade because it's hot outside. Hot. You hear me? That's mostly what I was going in here for. My occasional roll ups, But I ain't gonna sit there and do that because I wouldn't do that to anybody else if I know they need it. You could be beneficial in so many different ways that you not even see it. You know, it takes a lot of patience for real. In the toughest moments, you gonna have to come through in the clutch, regardless to what. And sometimes you might have to, you might have to make decisions again. But it's necessary. It's necessary only because I feel sometimes that be them tests from the higher power. Don't think good works mean just making sure your life is improved. No, you have to make sure the people around you, the people that really mean something to you, are uplifted and moving in the right course. See, like again, my destination on here is to bring a good, strong conversation and build, and also have some fun, but also get a stern message out. Because again, some people in the world need to hear this. The destination in life starts with you and what you do. There's only two people in control of your destination in life. The man upstairs, because again, we don't know how that book is created, how it's written. And for all you know, even if you are here for a short time, you most likely are going to want to put something into you so that people remember you. Mookie, what's going on, my guy? And if you are going to be here for more than a few seasons, you still need to put your foot on gear, figure out what it is you want to do, and make it work. Because again, not everybody's going to be, you know, fortunate enough to get certain, opportunities and get into certain situations. But even if you have a niche and just doing certain things, like again, it's not wrong with working a regular 9 to 5, especially if it's paying the bills. That's something that some people should realize. If it's paying the bills, shouldn't be no problem. At least you ain't out here struggling and broke. Like, yeah, we struggling, but you're not broke. You can at least say I could go get this if I need this, or I could put this away just in case of a certain situation. And even if you ain't there yet, shoot, start getting there. At some point, you gonna have to start turning the ball. Rachel, what's going on, baby? Again, you got to be mindful of what you throw out there because it will come back full circle. Pin dog, what's going on, baby? And in critical situations, you got to do what's right. And if it's right in your spirit to do so, do it. Like again, I didn't have to pay for that lady's stuff, but I paid for it, and it wasn't even that much. But it was just the principle. It didn't matter. Once you see somebody hungry or you see somebody really aiming for something, and that's what they want, why not help? The link is pinned in the chat in case anybody want to chime in on the conversation tonight. Something else I was going to bring up tonight too. Trying to give some people some time because I'm still scratching my scalp on this, y'all. Still scratching on my scalp. I ain't cooking nothing today, Rachel. Too damn hot to cook. Matter of fact, I lied. I made some macaroni and that was it. Too damn hot to be cooking. Oh yeah, and add some toasted sandwiches. I don't know. Might make some chicken tomorrow. I'll see. It might be a food short. Again, a lot of times you're gonna do things and you might not want to, but if you do it, that is a good token in that karma, that little karma basket. Especially for that man upstairs. You did do some good work. You didn't necessarily have to, but you did. It's just, again, sometimes people might not know where their destination might lead them to. But if you're on some sort of destination, hey, you build along the way. Take your time, travel down that road, see what's beneficial, what works for you, carve your niche, and then from there you move it on. Tanya, what's going on, baby? Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is how it's supposed to be, though. Anything that's motivational that could possibly help somebody, you do so. And that same token, at some point, you might be in the bond, and somebody might come through for you. So you gotta always make sure that you're doing what's necessary. See, prime example, I ain't gonna lie to y'all people right now. My cash app would be full to a degree, but then again, I did support some people along the way. Same ones that supported me, I supported them back, whether it was through a super chat or a cash app. But I do plan on doing something at some point for the celebration when I do start this celebration. Because again, without the people, it wouldn't be possible. And see, I didn't necessarily even have to do that. I could have just said, hey, it's my money. But I ain't doing stuff like that. When I got good people that I know I can support one way or another, I do so. Small tokens a lot of times lead to big tokens. But again, it goes to show you, I'm all for the growth and the build. I'm also for the, helping in any way, shape, or form if I can. That's just my good spirit. Always been that way. Don't get it twisted neither. Ain't no pushover. Definitely ain't no slouch neither. So, but I just believe when I know something is natural and good, I go with it. I know when to trust my gut instinct on things and when not to. And when I don't trust my gut instinct, I usually do some investigation. So, again, clear balancing yourself, overall standpoint of knowing when to and when not to, the most important thing. I've always felt that way too. A lot of people are blessed one way or another. Then you got those who are not so fortunate. Some of them are not fortunate, and it's only because of not so much as their works. But some people just don't want to change whatever lifestyle or whatever lane that they're in now. Your destination in life should not lead you to any hard drugs that's going to affect your mental or your physical. I believe in that point too. But again, I'm not a dictator. I can't tell people how to live their lives. I could just give some stern advice. Your destination shouldn't have you overdosing or damn near dying. And I did find out some disturbing news today in my hood. Apparently, two kids went missing in the water. Found one. I don't know if they found the other. I'm trying to find out the news on that. But yeah, prayers to those kids and their families because again, life is too short and precious. And I also want people to understand this too. You can't make certain situations in life that is going to be costly to you and yours. Got to think before you do. Oh snap, Marlene, baby,
Hey Nate, hey chat.
what's going on, baby?
Nothing much. I just came up here for a minute to say something that one of the things that I had to learn to do is to take my peace back. People, you can have people in your life and they can just be so toxic and make you feel so drained. And from time to time, you have to evaluate people who are in your life and if they're really good for you. And unfortunately, I had to remove a few people from my life, of two friends and one family member, because they were making me feel like my peace was disrupted and my peace is too important. If I wasn't doing something for them, then they weren't ever there to do anything for me. It was just one sided, and I had to regulate that.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, sometimes it is necessary again because it is supposed to go both ways. Like if I like prime example, like I just said, cash had to be full if there was a situation. But again, there's been situations where I didn't donate to people, especially those who kind of motivated me to really bring it to this platform. So I'm always going to be indebted, and I'm always going to do something regardless. See, I believe in two ways, and sometimes you gotta do something that's beneficial. You need that. And if they not doing it with you, they not riding with you, you know, yeah, you do what's necessary. Again, it is about your mental peace.
Yeah, life is too short. I've seen people crash out at 30 years old, and because they were doing everything to make everybody else happy, and then they winded up, they gone now. So it's like it's not even worth it. You never know what's going to be your last day here on this earth. So the days that you do have, you should make them count.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it any better. And that's what I'm saying. You need that. Leave something everlasting. And even if you are fortunate to make it into your old and golden age, you still have wisdom and knowledge that you could bring not just to the world, but the people around you who actually want to make some sort of changes and stride in life. Oh shoot, Danielle, what's going on, baby? Letitia, what's going on, baby? Yeah, I'm glad you popped up in here. Since you said you was gonna give me some of this knowledge, man. Yeah, Marlene, my fault, 'cause I'm still scratching my scalp from earlier. I
Yeah,
know.
I
No,
know.
come
Me
on.
too. Me too.
No, 13 billion? Come on, son.
Mm, It don't
I'm gonna
make
leave that there.
it don't make any sense.
13 billion in unpaid. Damn, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I just popped up here just for a minute just to say my piece, because I think everybody needs to evaluate from time to time if they're getting played or used. And I had to say, hold on, wait a minute. When's the last time they did something for me? And it's not just about financial support. There's a lot of ways to support people emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And if you're not getting any of those things, it's time for you to move on.
exactly. Hold on, Realist. You tired of my scalp, man? You know what? Go sit in the corner and suck on them toes like you been doing in the club, son. Non-dancing motherfuckers, man. got on my nerve today, man. Listen, shout outs to me and Red Shirt James, man. Why is it we the only ones dancing with y'all ladies in the club, man? My feet hurt. I need, I
Well,
need
I'm
some
too
of y'all.
busy. I'm too busy taking care of 5 of your kids.
Uh, no, see, look again. I'm talking about the fellas. I ain't look all the look. We can't dance with all the ladies all night, man. I gotta take a break too, man. I'm supposed to be
No.
DJing and I'm dancing two stepping over here trying to make sure I don't break nobody in. Come on, son.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
make it
like
happen,
that.
Nate. Make it happen.
Oh man.
All right. I'm going to drop down in the chat. I just wanted to pop up for a minute.
No doubt. You know you're more than welcome. I appreciate you for popping in.
Okay. Peace to the chat.
Oh snap! Who else popping up in here? Uh oh, Letitia. Oh, shouts to Marlene. Oh snap, Letitia baby,
Hey, hey, Nate.
what's
Nate,
going
baby.
on?
Hey, I didn't know if I missed it. My apologies. I don't get the notification. So, but hey, thank you for having me up here.
No, you're more than welcome. No, I was saying, yeah, you know these notifications don't go out sometimes. I don't be tripping though.
They're
But
so
no, you wasn't late.
they're so.
I had to reset it anyway because letting y'all dance up in the club for over 2 hours. Yeah, yeah, I had to reset the schedule. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I hear you. Yeah. So yeah. So you said how many trillion or billion?
$13 billion. Billion.
13 billion.
How, Craig? How?
Man, oh man. Well, I mean the I'm gonna tell you from my experience of
Mhm.
why I had to place the father of my children, who I was with for 13 years off and on, um, from the time I was 15 up until like shoot early 30s. Um, but unfortunately, because many states, and I'm not sure uh what other states do this, but many states, which this is a federal benefit, if you're getting services, then unfortunately you have to tell those people. Now I'm speaking of the welfare, the people who are on welfare or have needed assistance, whether it is food stamps, um, Medicaid, if you're needing welfare benefits where they actually give you a card for money, like to buy things for your household outside of food, even public housing. They want to know who the missing or the absentee parent is when you fill those forms out, and you have to give them that information. You have to give them the birth certificates of your children. And unless you just tell them you don't know who the father is, which in most cases it's not, or you can figure out who. Let me turn this baby monitor down. You can pretty much guarantee you're going to be put on you're going to be put on child support. So if you have I don't care if it's a female or a male, you're going to be placed on child support because they're going to require it in order for you to get those services.
That's
So
crazy.
that's why I wanted to make sure I came up and spoke to you about it, because of course typing that all in the chat wouldn't make sense. But a lot of times it's not because the mother, I'm not going to say all the time, but the mother wants to put them on. There are some cases that you do just have those disgruntled, bitter women, and usually it is the females that do that. That does happen. But if your child is not being completely taken care of by you, and I don't care if you're a woman or a man, if you're allowing the government to raise your children financially, then you should expect to pay something back. And if a majority of our people are living in poverty, and you have how many households that are single parent households, then you're going to see that type of number, that those billions of dollars of figure that is crazy. But if you think of the inception of child support, which I believe actually came after welfare, so it goes hand in hand. So that's why I wanted to explain it to you, because yeah, it's not necessarily the best thing that you should have to do, but unfortunately, there are cases it does have to be done, even if you're not on welfare. But there are cases where it's your hand is forced to put that person on child support. And yes, my ex was in and out of prison, and he was still required to pay child support. What they do is they put them at minimum wage, and so they're required to pay that back pay when they get out, because even though they don't make minimum wage in there, they might make, I don't know, a few pennies a day. I'm not sure, but I know it's not much. Sometimes they get that, to put on their commissary, but yeah, they do still require them to pay regardless if you're in prison or jail or wherever you are. They'll just put them at the lowest level of child support, Nate, and then that way, when they get out, it's not an astronomical amount that would, even though they're already in a bad place, but
Yeah.
it at least is not this higher, um, unrealistic figure that they cannot afford. A lot of them come out of there with trades too nowadays. I mean, and I'm not bragging about that, because that should be available, period. But they still have an opportunity to redeem themselves and to take care of their children. And it won't be such a high figure to where they feel overwhelmed. I don't know what it is for them. Of course, I can't speak from a prisoner's perspective, but I would
Mhm.
think that they would appreciate that, the fact that they're not paying as much or a higher number than is just a illogical amount to be paying back if they were to go to prison. But yeah, they're still required to pay.
That's crazy.
But I
That's
hope that
got
some of your questions about why you might be seeing that figure. Um, so
Yeah, it did. My scalp hurt. Like Word was saying something earlier too about, now I can understand some of that is because some people did die in debt, whether it was child support debt or whatever. So that kind
mhm.
of plays a part in it too. But man, my scalp hurt.
Yeah, it is what it is type thing. You can't force people to be responsible. And I know some brothers that have been taking care of their children without child support, and the baby mother got upset, or he moved on and with his life, his love life, and slapped child support on him, which to me,
Yeah,
that's to me uncalled for. Like, if you're already taking care of your children, men or women alike, because there are more women that are losing their children to men today now than before. There are more men raising their children in single parent homes nowadays. Um, but either way, yeah, they don't want to pay, or they don't want to help take care of their children. Unfortunately, you have to bring in a middleman or the man to come in and regulate. Like, no one should be forced to take care of their children, really, in all honesty. But unfortunately, if you're not going to, then it just is the point to have to go to, hey, I'm gonna have to go file child support against you at that point. Or if they're going to sign up for welfare, then they're going to be forced, their hands going to be forced to put you on child support. So if the situation, even if the father is doing the best he can and the mother has to go, or the mother's doing the best she can and that father has to go and get assistance, is not necessarily meaning that that person or the parent who's involved wanted to do it. It's that they're also being, hey, I got to get help. We need more food in the house. I can't take care of their medical bills, so I've got to get on Medicaid for them. Maybe they both don't make enough to cover those expenses, and that father or mother who's absent, they might be trying to their best they can, and they just have to come to terms with, hey, if that parent that's involved goes and gets on assistance, then I'm more than likely going to be hit by the man to pay restitution or whatever, to pay it back basically. So, but that's it. I just wanted to let you know, from that perspective. I'm not saying that there aren't any bitter baby mamas and baby fathers out here, but
Mhm.
usually it is the mother who files child support on the fathers. Most men don't even want to go and do all that. They feel like, probably, I'm sure they feel maybe like less than a man, or I can't speak from a man's perspective, but that's just my thought process about it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because some of the people I know that went through it, just like you said, it was situations like that. I'm taking care of my kid, even if we ain't together. I'm still taking care of my kid. I'm still being a part of my child's life. If I decide to move on, like you claiming you decide to move on, I shouldn't have to worry about you slapping me with some sort of child support papers when I know for a fact I'm already taking care of my daughters. My receipts tell me otherwise, and it's still the same thing in front of you. Like, what are you doing? Like, I understand if you, but no, some people really try to take advantage of that too, and that's the sad part about it. Don't do that because you scorned and you want to try to use these kids as a pawn too. That also causes a separation too. But I get where you going with that too. That's crazy. I didn't think about it from the jail perspective because I was like, wait a minute, how the hell do they still fucking force people to pay child support if they locked up?
yeah,
That's what threw me off. I'm like, huh?
mm-hmm, yep. That I was like, how is he gonna pay child support? They said he'll have to pay it. He'll be on arrears, and he just, when he gets out,
Yeah, you
he'll,
got to pay the arrears back. Yeah, that's the things too. When you got to pay back those arrears, yeah, those,
yeah, because they put interest on that stuff too. Like, it doesn't just, it's just not the amount that you owe. They make you pay interest on it. Because if you think about it, I was getting assistance back when I was going through nursing school, and
yeah.
yeah, I needed all the help I could get as a single parent, taking my our two boys at the time. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I got pretty much everything. And did I like it? Hell no. I hated going up in there into those offices. And at that time, and I think today it's better for most folks, you had to go into the office, sit there. Your appointment probably wasn't going to be on time. And you had to wait for a social worker who just kind of looked at you crazy. I mean, it was the most embarrassing thing to have to do, but I knew I had to do it to get to where I wanted to be. And I didn't have their father to be consistent in his well-being, to stay out and be productive in our life to make things easier. So, yeah, they ask who he is, they see the birth certificate, they're like, you know, so you have to, in order to get the assistance you want, you got to divulge pretty much everything. They want to know if you have garage sales, man. Like, how much you make at a garage sale. I was like, what? It's crazy, but yeah, and that's just what it is, which I can understand. Hey, he's not here or she's not here, you're gonna and I gotta go get assistance. Now you gotta pay the government back. So that's
That's
how I
crazy.
look. But yeah, it's gonna make your scalp hurt. But good thing is you don't have to do that. You're not dealing with that. You could
Nah,
imagine
but
what people's scalps look like who owe all that money back. That's horrible. Yeah.
nah, that's the crazy part. Like I was saying, is I know some people, like a couple people I grew up with, went through it. And I was just sitting there buggers. I'm like, wait a minute, nigga, I'm watching you buy all this shit, nigga. Like, how is she still? I said, wait, how is she still trying to hit you? Like one of my boys, he fought that tooth and nail. He kept not just his receipts. He also like let it be adamant. Like he had witnesses, everybody. Like this wasn't no damn gift. This man was doing what he was supposed to be doing for his kids. He needed our damn advice on certain shit too. So he brought that because when he found out what it was, yeah. Especially if the woman didn't have it. All right, look, well, I'm getting it. I got it. So what else you want me to do? That ain't no gift.
Hmm.
That's me doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a father. So I don't know. My head hurt.
Yeah.
Scalp hurt. My head.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's an unfortunate thing that is that's here. It's not, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere unless people stop applying for assistance. It's not going anywhere. Um, and unless people, you know, take care of their responsibilities. Now, I've seen where uh one instance the the father couldn't afford health insurance. So
Yeah.
he knew he was going to have to be put on child support because the mom had to go put the baby on Medicaid in order to go get, you know, the checkups and stuff. And so they had some type of thing where you can make an agreement. And I guess as long as it's documented in some way, and don't get me to telling things I don't know about, but I just they were able to make an agreement to where he didn't have to go legally put himself on child support. You know what I'm saying? Like it was almost like it was a notary type thing. I guess that is considered legal, but he didn't have to go. He just gives her, I guess, gives the money to them and they give it to her or something like that. It's just something different. But yeah, it's kind of strange, but I guess that you can make arrangements where you both agree on it and you know y'all both need help with your baby. Even though he was willing to help and he was there for his child, he still had to do something with the system to make sure that they got reimbursed. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it'll make your head hurt though, thinking about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to think about it no more. I was just thinking about that number because not Letitia, I scratched my eyes really thinking I was say you woke up, you ain't even wake up high. You came from work high. Like, wait a minute. I ain't just see 13 billion. I could see if it was million. I'm like, all right, that means certain people ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. Nah,
Yeah.
even that's kind of high. 13 million, but 13 billion? Nah, son. Nah.
Yeah, that's
Whew.
a lot, but it sounds about right if you think about the time frame it's been enacted, like since they've had child support put into place. So yeah, it sounds about right. That I mean, you talking about all the ones who haven't paid, or the ones like you said have passed away. And I want to know if they're including the cost of, well, I guess not. Maybe they're not including the cost of how much welfare is pitching in. I bet that's a whole different number. Yeah, that's probably a whole, that would probably even be way more. You're talking
Yeah.
about in,
Yeah. Mm.
go ahead.
No, I had to scratch my soul real quick 'cause I just thought about it. Don't.
That's your soul. Yeah, just take care of your babies. And like I say, I had to live and learn because I started young. And
Yeah.
so what I tell the young people that I encounter is vet out your partner. Like, yeah, things are unforeseeable will happen and people do change, but we're just sleeping with anyone and not knowing how they want to take care of their children. That's a big deal. Like, know who you're sleeping with as far as, hey, what could come of this outside of a STD is a whole life that you have to take care of pretty much for 18 plus years. You're going to be in that I say forever. I'm not saying you're going to take care of them. They're going to learn to be independent. Of course, you're not going to take care of everything forever, but you're going to be their wisdom that they need. You're going to be their shoulder they need to cry on sometimes, or, things of that nature, even when they get older. So we just need to teach and stop the cycle with these younger folks like you do on your lives. That's why I love listening to you along with others who I've met through your channel, The Word, Marlene, um, and just for us to encourage these younger folks, because there are some young people who want this, like they want to have knowledge, they want to have life skills because they don't have it around them in their own home or in their environment. And so they may be coming to your live and listening to the playback, and they get this knowledge and learn, hey, vet out whoever you're going to plant your seed in, because you as a man, you're planting your seed. You're the one that fertilizes the egg. And so you got to vet out who that female is. Yes, she might things might change. I'm not saying things don't, but at least know, okay, where do we stand? If you were to get pregnant, would you want the baby? Things like that. Because some men do want their children, and some are okay with not having the child. So those are things that we got to teach the younger generation coming up, because no one sat down with me. My aunt actually encouraged me to get pregnant so that I could get welfare. So you're talking about uh generational curse type shit. She was on everything you could think of, and I did not want to live my life like that. I hated having to hide my uncle's stuff because they were going to come to the house, just like in that movie. You remember that movie with all the kids, Nate? What was the name of that movie?
Oh, you talking about? Oh shoot. Talking
Remember,
about baby's kid.
he had
Baby's
to
kid.
hide the 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 man couldn't be at the house, and the social worker would come.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I grew up in that, and I'm like, this is not how. And something in me knew that, like, this is not how you supposed to live. You shouldn't have to hide your man's stuff in your house,
Yeah,
because
yeah, too much.
every year you're gonna get somebody coming into your home, walking through your house. It's so embarrassing. I was embarrassed as a child going through that. So, you know what I'm saying? Just vet out who your partner is before y'all start planting seeds. And I know as young people, we don't, uh, you're just not thinking like that. You're not thinking that far. You think it's never going to happen. But there are 15 and 14 and 13-year-olds having babies, and they can't take care of those children. Who's going to take care of them? It's going to be us, the taxpayers. So
But
we have to teach them so they don't make the same mistakes that we do, or I've done. Um, and so we have to tell them, hey, you know, vet out who you're going to sleep with. Make sure you're good with where they are as far as y'all having relations and being intimate. And if you were to have a child, what are you going to do? What is your parenting style? What is their parenting style? Do they want children? Do you want children? What are you going to do if you end up fertilizing that egg, and a condom's not 100%, so it might seep out, or they might go get a turkey baster out and pull some out. And when you go in the restroom and take the condom, that's why Drake had to pour some Tabasco sauce in his condom. I mean, you got like come up now, like getting pregnant and putting men on child support, like that's not cool. That's wrong. And it's bad because you're using that child as a pawn to come up. And then a lot of times you're not even going to parent that child. The grandmother's going to raise the child, or someone else, a teacher or
The
daycare.
streets or the streets.
Oh, the streets, exactly. So we got to vet out, and the females, we need to vet out who we allow plant seeds into your egg, because you as well as him, you need to know what you're parenting. What kind of parent do you want to be? How do we want to raise our children? Do you do this? Do you do that? Whether it's religion or faith or your spiritual, or all those things come into play when you're dealing with another human being, because now you got someone who, well, I'm a Muslim or I'm a Christian, or we didn't think about that beforehand. Like, now you got the child all confused. So, we just got to do better. We got to do better. Hey, brother Word.
So, hey, man, you just hit a point that I hope they hit later, because we're doing that women's panel later on
Mm,
and talking about the transition from girl to womanhood, and I think that's key. To have those conversations and have these young women and these young men to understand the significance of sex. I wasn't talked to, um,
mm-hmm.
but I just seen, and I was observing at a young age, and I seen everything my dad went through, and he was on child support with his wife. His wife had My dad got 6 kids,
Mm-hmm.
so when his ex-wife had the 2 kids, she wouldn't put him on child support, even though he was in the house and they were still married. She said they were separated just so she'd get a portion of the check. and
Mm-hmm.
um, And like you were saying, that whole child support thing, it started right around welfare. I forgot the year, but it started a little bit after welfare, and that was the whole rules too, is to keep the. I mean, we like you just said, they keep the man out the house, couldn't be in there. Now you got to
Yeah.
keep him down, you know. So when you said like the back child support, I would look and see the active amount because it's a totality, how much total is owed, but then it's an active amount too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the active amount to tell you like far as the living versus the deceased. Because usually when they do numbers, they do totality. They don't usually, even with the DOJ, they do the totality and not. They go by percentage and not the actual number
Right.
when you're talking about like crime and stuff. So you got to watch how they play with the numbers too, because the numbers tell a story, and they try to say the majority of the child support is owed by blacks or African Americans, when that's not true.
Well, I know that for a fact. I know
But
that
the
for a fact.
percentages, the percentage is higher because the numbers. If you got
Mm.
a small number, like say if you got like we 14% out of the population. So when you're talking about the DOJ, they say the percentage is higher. Yeah, because you got a smaller number. If you take a bigger number, um, and then do the percentages, it's gonna be a smaller number. But if you take a
Yeah.
smaller number and do percentages, it's gonna be a bigger number.
Right.
That's just how math
But you
works.
got to break
So
it
that
down because they'll make it look worse than what it is.
exactly. I
Mm.
It,
I, I had debates on that.
it could be, but wait a minute. But just for the fact they said 13 billion, and I'm not believing the number. I'm just still scratching my scalp. I said, imagine what the number really is. And see, y'all both hit a point tonight. I said, imagine what the y'all both made my scalp hurt, man. Damn, damn. That's rare. It's not too many people that make my scalp hurt in the same conversation. But it's a good conversation though. But damn, son. Damn. But I'm thinking that is the totality because it said 13 billion. I'm like, damn. So you basically saying from the time that shit was instilled to now, that's how much is out there right now.
Oh, that's how much is old, not how much. I would look and see how much you got paid too. It's more than it's probably. I don't know. It might not be more than that. But you got to look how they divvy it up too, because the government take their percentage because, like Leticia said, they got to pay for them services.
Mm-hmm.
So the government get a percentage too. That's why they encourage people to get on welfare.
Yeah.
My boy, when him and his girl split up, my best friend, when him and his girl split up, she went to try to put him on child support. Now they had a court where uh, they got joint custody, but he got more of the days. The child is on his insurance. Um, he pays for daycare, and she tried to get child support. They make her pay $13 a month to him,
That's crazy.
and she crying about that.
How
Mm-hmm.
Just
you
the
thought
fact
about
that she had
$13?
because she went down there to try to get money, and now she got to pay.
Yep.
Yeah, but why
So
you
she
crying
just
about $13? You lucky it wasn't more than that. Some people pay more than
she
that, bro.
Because she wanted to come up.
she wanted to win, right?
That's why now she's just upset because now she has to pay something. And she was thinking she was going to line her pockets. See, they're using these babies as a come up. That's why you see some of these females, they will intentionally get pregnant because now they can be on welfare for 18 years, honey. I know people who intentionally wait and space their children out, Nate, so that they can stay on welfare for a longer period of time. They will
That's
intentionally
crazy.
do that. Like there was this one chick, her babies were almost out of high school. I'm like, what the hell? Then she had another baby. And I'm like, why? Like, why would you do that? But it allowed her to stay on welfare. They're using these babies as pawns. And this girl travels all over. She's on housing. She's got her, all that other stuff, the food stamps, the Medicaid. She has everything but the TANF is what we call it here in Texas. TANF is, where you get the card for other stuff outside of food. But she gets
Yeah.
besides that. So she's pretty much taking care of it. She travels. I watch her travel all over Facebook. I'm like, damn, she travels more than I can. But
So
she's living her
I'll
best
tell you, and I'll tell you this too. It's a scheme here in Michigan, and the Middle Easterns got it on lock on how to do that welfare shit. Not
life.
just child support, but welfare. Like I'm gonna let my wife speak. My wife gets so mad. She be like, "These mother, they scheming and shit. I'm snitching." I'm like, "Bro, we don't snitch." But
Mhm.
but yeah, it's a whole scare. I know females like that. I got a letter in the mail. It was probably about 15 years ago saying I owe child support. And I'm like, I ain't got no damn kids. So I go down to the office. They give me and I'm looking like I recognize the name, but I couldn't. I'm talking about this is from when I think I just got out of high school messing around with this chick. So
Yeah.
I went and ordered, I got a court ordered DNA, because I was fighting it. I got a lawyer, court ordered DNA. Did the DNA. My name wasn't on the birth certificate. That's the only reason they did it. If she would have put my name on the birth certificate, I would have been screwed. But
Yeah.
she looked on Facebook, seen I had a good job, and I guess she tried to put her baby on me, right? So we did the
Yeah.
blood test. Come to find out, it wasn't mine. The kid was like 4 years after we was even messing around. It was actually my boy's, but he was on the street. He wasn't shit. So, well, I ain't gonna say my boy. It was a dude I used to run with. but
Yeah.
it wasn't shit. So I guess she went on Facebook and found me, and yeah, tried to put. I mean, people do that shit all the time too. You know, it's a scheme, bro. People, anything that benefits people, people find a way to make a scam out of
Hmm. I'm telling you,
Song bitch. Song bitch, what's
I
going
was
on, baby?
that. She was like encouraging me to, go down. She just knew I hit a pot that struck gold or something once I got pregnant. I was like 17, but I was young and stupid. And I didn't have that type of influence in my life growing up. And so she was like, "Oh yeah, you about to get this," and I'm like, "Huh?" Like I did a like confused look, like my whole life's about to change with a child. Like that's the least of my worries about how I'm gonna get food stamps or whatever it is. But like no one wants to live like she really thought that was a come up. And I'm like, I don't want to live like this. Like hiding my man's stuff and all that once a year and feeling like my freedoms are encroached upon. No, that's for me it's not. Now to each his own if you like to live like that, but my thing is also is then you become the person who's taking care of these people. So now I look at things differently, like now I'm taking care of your child. I'm taking care of children who aren't mine. And so I get where some people come from when they say, you know, uh, I don't want my money used that way. Or as a taxpayer, how it affects them. Because it's like now you're having all these children, and really I'm the one that ends up taking care of them because the father's a deadbeat or the mother's a deadbeat. And you're on assistance. And yeah, I think it's great for a time being to get your shit together, but not to live off of. Now, yeah, are there those anomalies where you might have a parent who cannot work because their child is disabled or something? Absolutely. I definitely understand that. I'm not here to judge people or in general, period, but I'm not judging those people. They have to be at home with their child. Some of them have to feed them with a tube and all kinds of things. So I've seen that other side of things too. But these people who just want to be lazy because they don't want to work, no, we're not doing that. And where they do that at? No. So
Facts.
yeah,
Hold on.
and get
Somebody just popped in here.
get yourself together and come up that way and take advantage of it in the right way. I can i can be i can be good with that. But when it's we just gonna live off of the system and put people on child support and not do anything or go live your best life while I work and you go get to travel the world or wherever, yeah, I'm gonna feel some type of way about that. Hell yeah.
I don't blame you. Hold on, Lady Vonna, what's going on,
peace. You
baby?
know what up, though? Man, I heard somebody say, "Oh, this welfare is my 40 acres and a mule." Like you sick. Like, you think that's reparation? You barely getting what, $800 a month? Like it keeps people stagnant, you know. And it was only created for a portion of time. Like in Michigan, they got a system now. I think they started it. I don't know when they started it. Um, but they got a system now where you gotta you have every year, like you gotta take classes and stuff and try to enroll in Job Corps to stay on assistance to keep like health insurance and stuff. I don't know about the finances. I just know when I was working in the hospital, I heard people complaining about, how the insurance got turned off because they
Hmm.
didn't report. And I'm like, what? And then they start breaking it down. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know in every state, but I know in Michigan there's a system now, but people still find a way around that too. You know, right
What's
where
that
PCS
for?
is only supposed to be there for a portion of time for you to get yourself together. And after that, I mean, but we taking care. I mean, and it's not the rich people. It's the minimum wage. I mean, it's not the rich. It's the poor people taking care of the poor people. 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah.
it ain't no middle class no more, really. Shit.
No.
Damn near everybody living check to check. It's hard as hell to save.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Every
I
time you turn around, the cost of living go up depending on where you at. Yeah, I already know that part too. Man, my scalp hurt. That's why I made my scalp hurt. I shouldn't have even brought that up this morning. Damn.
and I feel you, realist, but just imagine if they keep taking more money out your paycheck to take care of these people who don't want to take care of their own. And I'm not talking about people who are out there grinding and they really don't want to be on that mess and they're only on it to get them through, whether it's school or whatever. But just imagine them taking more and more money out of your paycheck to take care of folks who don't want to go to work, because you're going to work apparently, right? So they don't they don't want what you're doing at all. And I've met people like that. Unfortunately, I have people like that in my family, so I've seen it, and they'll go put their man on child support, and yeah, he'll be living in the house, but he's good because the money's coming right back. And now, but he gotta hide his shit once a year if they live on Section 8 or in the projects. He can't live there. He can't even have his mail come there. Like, no real man is gonna want to live like that. But we're talking about a man versus male or female versus
Mhm.
woman. So, but just
Yeah.
it's all together a vicious cycle, Nate. And I don't know that it will ever end unless the system is completely dismantled.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. My scalp hurt. 12, what's going on, baby?
you need
She
a
said that.
scalp rubber.
Yeah.
Someone that just rubs your scalp for you, like Rick Ross.
Nah. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like that. I feel like that Marvel comic supervillain. What was his name? Damn, I forgot the one with the big cranium. Damn, what was his name? Not the leader. Oh yeah, so says the leader. Whatever his name. Like my scalp really hurt like that because it makes you think. Damn, you do know some people like that that really just will abuse and abuse it. Like I told somebody, I said, man, listen, I know like three people that was coming around my way, and one of them I was calling her the human daycare center. It was like almost every 6 months or every 8 months. She was like, again? What the? That's why I say you gotta be mindful on that on both levels because again, you know, fellas gotta definitely be careful of where they planting these seeds at. And some of you women gotta stop being open doors to everything. I'm sorry. There's no way you gonna tell me you got 10 kids with at least 5, 6 different dudes. That's too much right there. And even if you thought to move on, I'm saying from a standpoint like that's too much baggage right there. Some people ain't gonna deal with that. You know that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying from my view, I've seen some like what? Not gonna
Yeah.
be ashtray. Not gonna be ashtray ticket kid. Come on, Dashiki. Now, you know damn well I'm not. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Look,
It's
what you said earlier too about taking money out your paycheck. Imagine being 1099 and you put up 10 grand for taxes and you get your statement back, you got to drop another three.
mm,
Like, that shit blew my mind. I'm sitting up there mad as hell. Like my wife, like what? I'm like, nah. And you looking at it, FICA. Like what the hell is FICA? Oh, okay.
mm-hmm. Yeah, FICA is basically they done changed the I. It should be a U, and
Hmm.
and the, it is
Hmm.
fuck you. Fuck
Hmm.
you.
Exactly.
FICA is really fuck
FICA.
you. I'm
That's
fucking
what
you.
they doing.
I'm
That's
fucking you out
exactly
of
what
your
they doing.
money. Uh,
Man.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this system is crazy though. It is though. It is. Wait, what you said? Next, he said in California they give it welfare for 2 or 3 years. It's not per child anymore. It's capped now. Oh, okay, yeah. Some certain situations, yeah, like you're gonna have to work for your benefits now. But even no matter if you got kids or not now, if you going towards any part of that welfare system or public assistance or whatever, yeah, you gonna have to work at some point.
Oh, that's good, Nexie, because I know, what was it? Bill Clinton put in that 4-year cutoff. I think that was nationwide. I don't know if that's still in effect, but I know it's crazy how people find a loophole. So they were going to school or going to work, but then they would either get fired or quit, and then they would get their services again.
That's crazy.
And then
Hey,
you had the men on child support, and I know men in my family, or males, I'll call them, who they know not to stay on the job for more than 3 months, because once Uncle Sam gets a hold of that paycheck, he's gonna lose his whatever, how much money, 20%, 10% of his paycheck. So they
Yeah,
will job hop or work under the table just so they don't have to pay child support. So you got those instances as well.
yeah, my scalp hurt. That, I know some people that did that too. I was like, damn, son. But you know, I was telling them, I was like, in certain cases, man, listen, if it is yours, son, do what's necessary, man. Like it doesn't matter, bro. You put that into the world. You got to take care of it one way or another. I don't know. My scalp hurt. 13 billion. You could have took that 13 billion, man, and turned this to stimulus records for real. Man, listen. Yo, word, we're gonna have to go. Come on, son. We're gonna have to go do that, son. I need you to bring the petty vision, Letitia. I need you to definitely bring the petty vision with you too. We're gonna build stimulus records on this YouTube app, man.
I'm petty wise.
We missing Petty Piper and a few other ones tonight. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but that is crazy, man. You know, you gotta be mindful though, and that is the truth when it comes to anything. Even if you're gonna be a wild jackrabbit, hey, be safe, somewhat safe. Look here, I was running wild to a degree I wasn't no saint. Even when I was being talked to, man, I'm still a rebel to some degree now. I was a
Yeah.
rebel. Like, I didn't certain thing I wasn't listening to. Yeah, whatever. I know
Yeah.
which way it's gonna go if I'm playing it that way, and that's how I usually went. Not saying I wasn't, but I was still being mindful. I ain't doing that. Wrap it up, son.
Yeah, or make sure, you see that person taking their birth control, or whatever it is that y'all are using, or plan B, whatever it is that they choose to use. I'm not promoting that because I don't promote hormonal stuff, but whatever works for you, and it typically ain't no pull out method, y'all. But abstinence definitely is the key. But y'all ain't trying to have children or be put on child support, then you definitely need to be careful with where you're planting your seed, and you got to be careful of who you allow to fertilize your eggs, because yeah, you might, everything may be hokey dory and cool up until a certain point, then y'all start having children, and yes, things can change, but that's why it's so very important to vet out who you want to be the parent of your child for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
hey, bro,
Oh yeah,
I got
don't
to drop
worry.
on you. Too.
Huh?
I got to drop, bro. But I appreciate you up here. I seriously appreciate you. So Nate, always great conversation, bro. I see
Yeah.
you all in a minute.
Oh yeah, I know you about to start yours in a minute.
Yeah.
Most definitely. You know we gonna come through and show some support. But nah, but I appreciate y'all for popping in on this too, because I was sitting there saying I knew certain aspects on why I was like, all right, there's a small portion I'm kind of aware of when it comes to that. I
Hmm.
wasn't aware of all that extra stuff behind it. That's why I said, my scalp hurt.
Yeah, it can be.
Uh,
It can be like, yeah. It's a lot. It's so many different factors, though. It's not just women putting men, because I don't want to you know blame all women for having to put a man on child support, or even men putting women on child support nowadays. But unfortunately, the hand is some more than likely being forced, I'll say, because a lot of those who are in single parent homes typically require or need assistance. So, but I'm gonna drop down too, Nate. Thank you for having me up. It's always good chit chatting, or being out in the chat with listening to you.
you're more than welcome, Letitia. You always more than welcome to pop in on the conversation. I be appreciating what all the women do. Hit the stage though, 'cause I ain't gonna lie. There's different factors, and sometimes it's not just gonna be a male perspective. You always gonna get a female perspective. And see, you broke down something that, because I was sitting there still scratching my head. I said, somebody gotta tell me something. There's no way you're gonna tell me you still gonna be having to pay child support if you locked up. Now, what happens if you locked up for life? You still gotta pay child support? Oh wait, that's what I meant to ask you before you leave.
Yeah, if they're in there for life, then it's probably that's never going to be paid back. Like, they're basically, we're all a debt to society. And I'm not going to go into that with our social security number, birth certificate, all that, but we're
Yeah,
all a debt, a walking debt to this corporation here that we live in, and they count on that because it's what they need. So our debt helps this corporation to thrive and to keep going however it chooses to, even though, hey, our dollar is almost worth toilet paper. But anyway, I won't go into that. I don't want your scalp to itch or scratch anymore, but you gonna start bleeding.
it's already been bleeding, man. Listen, all the stuff I've been dealing with, even on this road. Come on, now.
Yeah, but yeah, it they're just a walking debt, and they make money off of them in those prisons. You know that, so they don't care if you owe money to your child. Shoot, they probably counting on your child to be in there next. They like, oh, who can we get in here to work for free now? You know, over some laws that probably shouldn't even be in place, because folks are making billions of dollars today off of that crap. So yeah, I'm not gonna go there because it's a rabbit hole. I'll just keep going and going. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they make money off of them.
we'll finish ripping up these rabbit holes, though. Don't worry. We
Yeah,
still got enough time. I'm not going nowhere. Y'all know this, baby.
but it's all good. We just got to keep teaching the youth, because and anyone who's not young and you're looking at having children in the future, if you're older and you're more mature, just have a good picker, because that's really what it boils down to, is having the right picker, and vetting out your potential spouse or the parent to your child. Vet them out, carefully. So that's what I'm teaching my children to do. And I haven't had any, I don't have any grandchildren yet. I'm in my mid 40s, but hey, I'm okay with that, because I don't want them bringing children into the world that they can't take care of, or B, they're not ready to take care of. Like, they're not mentally there, they're not mature enough to be raising children. They're still in their 20s. They're still living, their best life, so to speak. Marlene, uh, I know she probably remembers me saying that earlier in her chat, but yeah, they're still out here living their best life and being young. So I don't want them to have children until they feel they're absolutely ready to settle down and focus on their children and make them a priority in their life. So I hope anyone hears that on the playback, that you understand it's all in love. And yeah, sometimes, you might get that itch, but you need to just be very careful with who you allow scratch that itch. Okay.
Big facts.
All right. Peace out.
No doubt, Letitia. You're more than welcome. Appreciate you for tuning in. And shout outs to Brother Word. Um, yeah, see, I told you it was going to be a multitude of conversations tonight. Um, that was definitely one of them. And we could definitely revisit that part at some point. It's always good to have a good talk and delve into these things. Again, if you're going to be able to change anything, you got to be able to know where you're attacking from. You got to be able to have that knowledge and that wisdom. And again, even going back to what I was saying in the beginning of the broadcast, your destination in life should be something happy on all angles. I think that's just the one thing to remember. Just make sure that you're happy, beneficial, and even if you are going to move as far as the family is concerned, you got to make sure they're good as well too. You got to give that blueprint, teach them for the better. So even when they follow their own destinations in life, they know where to start from. I definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. I don't know. I felt like that. This was definitely needed tonight. So yeah, again, no matter what aspect of life you're moving in, you got to be moving the right way. It's really about it. And if it feels right to you, you continuously move in that path. Because again, your mental balance and your mental peace and your happiness within your soul, it means something. No doubt, Daniel. Appreciate you, baby. And have a good one, Marianne. Like I said, definitely always going to be a good conversation because it's needed. And again, I'm all for the talks, even when they make my scalp hurt. But I'm all for those talks because again, we do have to build somewhere in order to change things and in order to bring back not just a great prosperity within the community, but just to bring back a solid notion of going back to that old fundamentals. Got to start. We got to fight on every angle, and not everybody gonna be able to fight on the same angle. Those going to be leading the fight. Most of them are going to do what I'm doing right now. It starts off with talks and building, and then it goes elsewhere. Some are already out on the forefronts. Some might be doing a little bit of both. You never know. Got to think about things on the grand scale. No doubt, Papa. We'll appreciate you, bro. Man, I say I ain't gonna hold y'all much longer. I know word got a live coming up soon. Um, and before we close out though, if y'all haven't done so, y'all already know y'all could drop links and show each other some love in here. Definitely some good people. Lady Vonna, hopefully you did enjoy the conversation. Whatever you missed, you can catch the replay. Um, these are the type of topics you want to get. Even on the morning site with the people, this is what you get. Might get some laughter in the midst of it because you're gonna have some idiots coming in. They always come in. They love what's going on. They just don't want to admit it though. So I want to let you know, and for everybody that is coming in to the eulogy family, you might catch some people getting some eulogies left and right. Whether it's poetic, whether it's bars, I don't want to have to do what I was about to do for real. So, it's all about love, building, the growth. and just the love and respect all in all. That's what I'm gonna continue to bring, a peace and balance over here. I knew what my destination was when I started this, and I'm still going to stay on it, regardless to how anybody might feel about it. And shout outs to all my members of the Eulogy family. You know, um, we gonna definitely still be building and doing some things. I still got some other things in works I want to put in. Um, but the main thing to remember too is just live your best life. You only got one life in this shell, and then from there it's just spiritual. So again, while you're here, plant the best seeds possible. So even when it is your time to go, you've left something here that the people will remember you by. They'll be able to hold on to, and even keep the ball rolling and keep the flame alive. Again, your destination shouldn't lead you to the prison. Your destination shouldn't lead you to the early cemetery grave, and it shouldn't lead you to overdosing or even going down the road of hard drugs. Because once you go there, you ain't gonna never come back the same. No, there's definitely always going to be good builds and conversations with the people, even the people that have come here recently. And again, I want to say I do appreciate and love everybody that has been here from the beginning, even on this build. Even as of now, I do plan on keeping the peace and balance here, even when you do get some slight ignorance from the trolls. So I'm still going to do what I've been doing. The greatest aspect in life, though, to remember: stay humble. Keep building towards your better goals, and there's nothing that can stop you. Even for those who don't believe in the higher power, you should still have enough common sense and decency to say, let me be smart in my movements in life. You only get one. Definitely was a good talking conversation tonight. And I hope everybody, I know everybody got to come out tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow already for most of us. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. And for those who got plans to be out this weekend, whether it's for the birthday weekends or whatever, whether it's concerts, events with the family, or whatever it is you might be doing, just make sure you're staying safe at all times. Keep enough water and fluids with you because it's definitely going to be hot. And if you're suffering from anything you know that you might need, bring your stuff with you, whether it's for your EpiPens, your asthma pumps, whatever. Life preservation. Make sure your health is intact. And just enjoy yourself and be blessed as always, you know. And y'all already know y'all gonna get that morning safe. Um, I could be doing some music tomorrow night as well, depending. Um, yeah, this is the best way to do it. Bring these talks. And once I do find out what I need to find out, because again, before I leave out, I did say earlier, we did have 2 kids out here who drowned. They found one. I don't know if they found the other one. But, again, just be mindful. And I want to say that to these kids too. Be mindful. Don't put yourself in a delicate situation where your parents will end up crying. Or your parents might end up worrying about your well safety. You know? Definitely always a good talk with y'all. And I'll definitely see y'all back in the morning. Y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and to be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real builds. Like I said, we're definitely gonna be back in the morning. Definitely gonna show love to Brother Word and them. And I'm gonna be running these YouTube streets tonight. I'm gonna be having to have to support a few people. You know, a few of y'all live right now. Y'all gonna see me run the fastest in the YouTube streets and still be out of breath. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.